Hello everybody, hope that you're good. New video about Bitcoin, day trading. We're in a winning strike, so let's try to continue. And before I start talking about the setup of today, I think it's quite important that you know my perspective for the midterm, so you can see what level I'm favoring price to go to. So it wouldn't make any sense that, for example, I'm favoring longs in the midterm and now I'm taking shorts, okay? So I think it's quite important. It's basically this projection here that I'm marking now in, well, let me mark it in orange because I'm not using orange in the chart. This projection is the main projection that I've been following for the last, well, this week really. And it was that, I explained this yesterday, but we were making lower lows, lower highs, and then at this point, it was time to make a change of a structure, try to find some support here, fill this week, and then we could see a reversal. If we lost this level and we made a new low, then we were gonna go back again towards this pivot again, okay, 59,000. But that was the second scenario, and as soon as we saw, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to the downside, price not progressing any further, it means that the market maker is building his longs, change of a structure, you see that push, then get above the 4-hour 50 MA. This is the moment that I entered, and this is the moment that I posted the Bitcoin soon the update, and I told you I'm favoring longs now very strongly, and price has just been going up following this prediction. Well, projection really is not prediction, it's a projection. This retrace here, it came a bit later, but you can see that pretty much followed the idea, and with this retrace, what I was keeping in mind was that we were gonna see a push towards 70k because there was a lot of liquidations there, and I thought, okay, we might go there aggressively, hit all those liquidations, and then retrace a little bit. It went a tiny bit higher, $1,000 higher, but then we saw that retrace. And let me remove this. Back to the 1-hour time frame. Let me change the EMA to put into the 4-hour time frame. There you go. So right now we're in the 1-hour time frame, and we have the 4-hour 50 MA. Because this was a projection that I posted yesterday on Twitter. Well, in yesterday's video I was talking about two levels. I was talking about 71,700. You can see that we actually hit that level, 71,769. We saw a big retrace there, and a fast move down usually gets recovered very quickly. So that's what I was looking for, this kind of fast recovery. I don't know if to call it a V-shape recovery, but just some kind of aggressive bounce from some of this level, okay? Now, what it's a bit annoying is that I didn't jump into this trade with Bitcoin. I did with some altcoins, but in the case of Bitcoin, I was waiting for price to maybe go to the 4 or 50 MA, and that's when I was hoping for a bounce, but it happened before, okay? But that's when you can see the idea. Big wick to the upside, wick fill strategy is playing out very well. The only way I'm trading the wick fill strategy really is to wicks to the upside, because we are right now in an uptrend, possibly at the start of the bull market. So when there is a lot of momentum and there are imbalances left to the upside, and not only wicks, but also liquidity pools, CME gaps, open interest gaps, then price is going to tend to recover those imbalances very quickly, okay? That's what I'm playing the wicks to the upside mainly, or the liquidity pools to the upside. So that's when you can see fast move to the downside, create a very long wick, mark the 50% of the wick, mark the 100% of the wick, and then you're going to see price sooner than later going again towards that level. So let me remove that projection because it's completed, it's finished. What can Bitcoin do next? Well, you guys know what I'm thinking about the midterm, okay? I'm saying that projection, maybe it could be playing out. So far it's been playing out, and the last target that I have is 74,000. Now, I don't mean that 74,000 is going to be the top. That's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that the end part of this projection is 74,000. Then from there, if it is there, projection completed, price can continue going up, fine. But 74,000, that is the place where I think it's a good opportunity to take profits, because that's what I'm keeping an eye on. I think that we are gonna sweep the highs, and I don't mean that we're gonna sweep these highs like this and drop. I mean that I think that we're gonna hit this level. Then I don't know what's gonna happen from this level. It depends what the price action does. If we start to see consolidation above the level, it means that we're gonna continue going higher. But if we see a sweep of the highs, and then fall back below that level, test it at resistance, consolidate on the resistance, then that means that we could drop again. All right, so that last part, we'll have to see obviously how price action behaves, but I think that we are very likely to go to 74,000, okay? We're gonna go in a minute to the order book, also to high block capital, trying to make some sense of it. Now let me remove all of this. And the other idea that I was having is, well, in my opinion, I'm favoring higher prices, okay? So what the hell am I doing in the S&P? Go back to Bitcoin. I don't know what I touch. I'm favoring higher prices, all right? So to me, it doesn't make any sense to short, because if to me the trend is to the upside, I'm not going to fight against the trend. I'm going to try to use it. So I'm basically looking for levels or areas where I can open a long position. Now, there are a few things that here are quite interesting. First of all is that if we mark the 50% of the week, it's around that level. Let's also mark the 100% of the week. There it is. Why do I mark the 50% and the 100% of the week? Well, because these two levels are areas where price can suffer a rejection from, okay? Now, what I find also interesting here is that the guys that have just done the week 3 of the course, time in the market, you guys have seen this, but basically if you notice, we have here a pattern, okay? Asia pumping. So far London is holding, and when Asia pump, you have to be very careful because it's very likely that New York retraces back down, okay? Now, if we suffer this rejection, this retrace, probably it's not gonna go all the way here, back to the Asia Open, but it's gonna be a partial retrace, and for that, you must keep an eye on this. You must keep an eye on the, on this liquidity pool over here, this one there, and also the 1 hour 50 MA, that if you notice, is the same level. So to me, that's going to be an area where I'm gonna look for longs if New York drops to that level, all right? But remember, Asia pumps, London consolidates, London holds, and then it's very possible that New York drops, all right? That's what I'm keeping an eye on. Now, I want you to keep also some attention on this, and is that the longer that we consolidate around the 50% of the week without actually dropping towards this area, the longer we consolidate around this level, the higher the chances are for us to go to the 100% of the week. So today New York is going to have to decide 50 MA in the 1 hour time frame and retrace this liquidity pool, or go to the 100% of the week. So that's a $700 move. No, well, yeah, around $700 or $1,000 move that we're going to see today in the New York session. It's very certain that that's going to happen, okay? We're not going to see New York doing this. That's not going to happen, in my opinion, or that's very unlikely. We're going to see either this or this. One of those two. But I don't believe that we're going to consolidate around this level for much longer, because in this area, there is a lot of pressure for Bitcoin to move, all right? Anyway, let's see how that plays. If you go to the 50 MA and this liquidity pool, and we can hold above it, perfect. I'm going long. And then if we go again to the 50% of the week, I'm opening a long, because that's going to give me conviction that if we are revisiting the 50% of the week once it's been filled, it only means that we are actually going to go to the 100% of the week, because the only logic for price to make this move is to continue retracing this imbalance here that is left. All right, so those are going to be my two positions or in longs if we see the price action, okay? A long here, and if we can hold and we go to the 50% of the week, compound here and take profits here. All right, I hope that was clear, but that's basically what I'm looking at. Now we're going to go into the order book, into high block capital, and we're going to try to see if the liquidity is favoring higher prices also. Welcome to the order book, guys. I use bookmap.com. They have also a free tool in their website, so you don't have to pay the premium if you don't want the extra. I don't even know the features they have because I'm using the free version. I'm not partnering with them. I just tell you what I use because some of you sometimes ask where I check the order book. But basically, for you that don't know, the order book is kind of like a book of orders, okay? And you can see in this chart, it's like a heat map. So the more red the bar is, it means that there is more liquidity at that level. So it gives you kind of like a quick glimpse of where the liquidity is, okay? Well, it just moved, but if you notice the liquidity is really to the upside. You really don't see any bars to the downside. Check out 70,000, 69,500. There is no liquidity there, but if you look to the upside, 71,000, red bar, 71,500, red bar, and at 72,000 there was also another bar. It just moved the chart because price has dropped a tiny bit. But what this chart is telling us is that the liquidity is really to the upside. Now, it doesn't mean that those red bars are sell walls, not at all. It means that there is liquidity there, and that can be in form of stop losses, take profits, sell limit orders, liquidations, that are also limit orders. So we don't really know by looking at the order book what type of orders those are, but we know that there is liquidity at those levels, and the way the price action moves, the way the price moves in Bitcoin and in any other asset is based on where the liquidity is. It wants to hit the liquidity, all right? So follow the liquidity, guys. Warren High Block Capital to check where the liquidations are. High Block Capital helps us to see not where the liquidity is, but where the liquidations are. Liquidations are a big part of the term of liquidity. The delta of the cumulative liquidations is pretty much neutral. It's not telling us if there is a position at risk, really, because it's quite neutral. So we're not going to pay any attention to this today. Now, if you notice at these levels, you can see the spikes at the right. These spikes mean the levels where there are more liquidations or a cluster of liquidations. So right now you can see that there are a couple of liquidations at 71,700. I guess that's from the 100% of the week. Some liquidations are still there. That could support the idea of the wick filler strategy to the 100% of the week. And well, to the upside you can see more levels all the way up to 73.6k, okay, almost 74,000. Now to the downside there are also some liquidations here between 68k and 66k, but if you notice the bigger spike, the longer spike is to the upside. So maybe that plays a bit of advantage to say that it's more likely that we go to the liquidations of the upside first. Now liquidation heat map 7 days time frame. We took that liquidity there at 71,700. Then the drop, I see some liquidity at 68k, well 68,050. I see quite far at the moment, so I'm not gonna pay much attention to it just yet, because for now we still have some support like the 1 hour 50 MA. And now if we check the 1 month time frame, we're gonna see that there is a lot of liquidity to both sides of the chart, but especially because we're so close to it, to the upside, 74,100. Okay, so it's true that there is also quite a lot of liquidity at 60k, but again, we're right now at 71,000. So let me ask you this question: what are we closer to? Are we closer to 74,000? That's only 4,000 moves from here, or are we closer to 60k? That's an $11,000 move from here, of course, to the upside. So that's also going to play advantage, and that gives more probabilities to see Bitcoin going to 74,000 first. Okay, so based on the order book and based on the liquidations in High Block Capital, it supports the idea of favoring higher prices. The liquidity seems to be to the upside. And before I finish the video, I want to say that I've noticed Ethereum probably is looking even better for a long position, because if you check Bitcoin now, Bitcoin has already done part of that pump above the 4 hour 50 MA, and it's pretty much back at the highs. Okay, we're not that far away. We're exactly 5% away from there. But if we go to Ethereum, okay, if we go to Ethereum, we are pretty much at the 4 hour 50 MA, and from here to the highs we have a 14% price difference. So if we think that Bitcoin is gonna go up because there are more reasons for price to continue going higher, then Ethereum is going to follow Bitcoin, and Ethereum is further away from its highest points. So you could see that the retrace have been sharper, or that the recovery has been slower, which means that there is more upside opportunities. Okay, so who knows, if Bitcoin really drops today to the 1 hour 50 MA, okay, so that's around 69.5, 69.7. maybe Ethereum could come again towards this level here, okay, hang on, towards that level there, and that could give a long opportunity there. All right, so it could be a good opportunity there for Ethereum rather than for Bitcoin. Okay, so keep also an eye on this chart because it also looks pretty good. And that's pretty much everything that I want to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.